Are you eating a healthy diet but still struggling to lose that last 20 pounds? Nothing can be more frustrating. In this video, I'm going to show you how to take your plant-based diet to the next level and lose that weight within 2 months. No, this is not a crazy fad diet. We're not restricting any calories. So the first strategy is to use water-preserving cooking methods. So when you use things like a smart oven or a regular oven or an air fryer, or if you are sauteing with oil or something, you are increasing the calorie content of those foods with that dry heat. So you want to maintain the water preservation by using things like boiling or steaming or microwaving, and even your pressure cooker is going to maintain that water content. Water is so crucial for weight loss. Between water and fiber, it's a close call. As long as you have those two components, you are going to be able to hit your weight loss goals in no time. Using water-based cooking methods also improves the nutrient preservation. The heat can only get as high as the boiling point of water, but when you're using dry heat, the water or the temperature can get much, much higher. So the higher the temperature gets, obviously, the more you're damaging the nutrients. Nutrients are very important when it comes to weight loss because it's not just about the weight, it's about your health. Weight loss is just a happy side effect of healthy living. If you're not obtaining the proper nutrition, you're likely not losing the weight. By preserving the water, you're also increasing your body's ability to perceive that necessary stretch reception that takes place when you get enough bulk into your system. So water is going to support that sense of satiety and fullness and bulk in your tummy after you get done with a meal. Preserving the water is also obviously great for hydration. You need to stay hydrated if you're going to lose weight or maintain a healthy body of any kind. I'm sure that's pretty self-explanatory, so let's move on to the next one. The next strategy is to make all of your meals and condiments from scratch. When you're preparing all your own meals and cooking everything at home, you are ensuring that there's no additional junk in your food. There's no preservatives or other food additives or salt, sugar, oil, other chemicals. Everything is very clean and free of harmful components that are not going to do your waistline any favors. You're also less likely to overconsume due to the time and energy it takes to put into these meals. So when you finish eating, you're not going to run back to the kitchen and be excited to spend another hour in there cutting up vegetables and cooking your starches and making an entirely new meal. When you can order your food on an app or call somebody to have it come delivered, or even stopping at a gas station and grabbing some convenience foods, that is so easy. There is no energy involved. It is a quick monetary decision that is only going to leave you frustrated and irritated with yourself for making such decisions in the first place. You're also more likely to eat healthy meals if you make them at home because it's pre-planned. You already have the anticipation that this is what I'm going to eat for lunch. This is what I'm going to eat for dinner. And there's always something available to you ready to go. The next strategy is easy, but often overlooked. It's to exercise in a fasted state. So this doesn't necessarily have to mean first thing in the morning, but I would recommend that. It just seems to be so much more likely that people will carry out some sort of exercise if they just get it done first thing in the morning. Otherwise, you keep pushing it back, and other priorities tend to stack up over your health. Unfortunately. So you should have a minimum of 6 hours in between your last meal before you exercise. That would ensure you're in a fasted state. This has a number of health benefits, and yes, many weight loss benefits. So it improves your glucose regulation. It also balances other hormones that are highly relative to weight loss, such hormones that involve hunger or appetite suppression, fat utilization, satiety, and even mood. Exercising in a fasted state also improves your body's ability to mobilize its fat storages more efficiently. So the fat you take in is much less likely to be stored than it is to be utilized. And the fat that you already have stored is much more easy to metabolize than if you had not used this tactic. Exercise is also a natural appetite suppressant. So I know that we're taught that we're supposed to have some kind of protein shake or energy bar, or we need some kind of pick-me-up to go to the gym, but it's just not true. We don't need any additional energy. We have all the energy necessary already in our bodies, already stored, ready to go. Use those fat storages. That's what they're there for. We're not supposed to be eating every time we turn around. we need to use some of the energy we already have stored. I was freaked out by this notion of exercising on an empty stomach at first, but it only takes a few days before your body starts to get used to the new habit. And after a while, you can't imagine how you did it the other way around, because exercising with food in your stomach sucks. It's so uncomfortable, and it causes stomach aches sometimes, and it makes you not as agile and capable of the movement patterns, I feel, if you hadn't eaten prior to exercise. So just test it out. Let me know what you think. Maybe some of these are doable, maybe they're not. It's totally up to you what you decide to do with them. I just like to provide you guys with options. I wish I had known these hacks long ago before I started trying to figure out how to lose my weight. So if you guys are enjoying this video, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a like. The next strategy is to eat the bulk of your food from raw fruits and veggies. Now, this may seem kind of obvious, but I don't think most people realize how much of this we should be eating on a regular basis. Eating raw foods in general is super important, just as important as eating some cooked foods. Cooking actually increases the concentration of the calories in the food. When you cook the food and the water evaporates, the energy becomes more concentrated. And yes, as I discussed earlier, it also depletes some of the nutrition. Raw fruits and veggies also have the lowest calorie density. So non-starchy veggies, things like cucumbers and tomatoes and celery, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, these are literally 100 calories per pound of food. That is a ton of food. And fruits are about 200 to 300 calories per pound. Because of all that water and fiber, the two major components that are essential for a healthy weight loss diet. So some great go-tos are obviously salad, smoothies, and just raw fruits and veggies for snacks as well. If you incorporate more and more of these into your day, you'll find that you're crowding out any appetite you have for those more calorically dense foods. Now, with this said, I'm not suggesting that you go overboard and just eat raw fruits and vegetables. That is, I don't want to say crazy, because some people actually do it, but it is not really obtainable for most people. I feel it probably would create more stress in one's life than it would improve it. So I would be weary of getting too extreme around this. If you find yourself hungry all the time, eat some starch. You don't need to eat all fruits and veggies. It's just the lowest possible food in calorie density, and obviously the most conducive to weight loss. Not to mention, they're the most nutritious foods on the planet. Again, if your body's getting enough nutrients, it's likely getting healthy, and it's likely helping you to lose weight. The next hack is don't forget the other pillars of health. It is not very likely that you're going to lose and maintain your weight loss if you're not taking care of yourself in the other essential areas of your life. So we already talked about exercise. There is also sleep, stress management, and social connections. So yes, diet is a huge component of your health, probably the biggest one. But if these other areas are lacking, then those obviously start to override the importance of your diet. I don't want to say importance. The key is to balance all of these things. So make sure you're putting your energy equally into each one. Weight loss is a happy side effect of health. Take care of yourself and you will inevitably lose weight. And again, we're not talking about some fad diet. We're talking about long-term sustainability, right? Nobody wants to lose weight for a month and then put it all back on. You're just doing yourself more harm than good. Not to mention your self-confidence. Yes, it is extremely difficult to balance each of these pillars of health, but it's important enough to put the energy towards it. So yes, I talk about nutrition a lot on this channel, but sleep is just as crucial. 7 to 9 hours per night is ideal. And I feel like it's only possible if you have a decent bedtime routine. Make sure you're in bed at an early enough hour to get a sufficient amount of sleep. Social connections. I know very few of us make time for this, but it's so important to stay in touch with loved ones. They are such a great stress reliever, and they do wonderful things for our brain, and it's just vital. And again, all of these areas impact other areas. So by spending enough time with the people you care about, the more you're going to enjoy your life, the more likely you'll be taking care of yourself in other areas. Like stress management. This is huge. Stress affects everything. If you have too much cortisol running through your bloodstream at any point in time, you are going to suffer from things like insomnia, anxiety, depression. Your work might suffer, your relationships might suffer. Try to have a balance, is all I'm saying. The last strategy I'm going to talk about that is going to improve your weight loss efforts is to extend your fasting window. So 12 to 18 hours of fasting every day is ideal, not only for weight loss, but again, for health. I hope you guys are noticing the pattern with health being so interconnected to weight loss. I find that a lot of people try to shove the majority of their calories into the end of their day. This is a common mistake because this is when your body is slowing down, everything's shutting down for the day, and you're going to stop digesting and actually start taking care of all of the housekeeping and all the natural processes that take place while you're sleeping that require your digestive system to be shut off. We store calories so much more efficiently at the end of the day than we do at the beginning of the day. So try to eat your breakfast, try to eat your lunch, and then have a very small meal for dinner, mostly veggies, if at all. Lots of people who eat whole food plant-based tend to not really require a third meal because they're so satiated from the earlier foods that they were taking in throughout their day. I also want to caution you to not try to fit your meals into less than a 6-hour window. When you do this, it tends to get very problematic and cause more stress than it's worth. So not only are you going to be walking around with a huge, full, bloated, uncomfortable belly from trying to get in all those calories at once, but you're also going to feel the side effects of needing to digest all that food. So you'll be very fatigued and very tired and very brain foggy for a while when you're supposed to be in those like productive hours of your day. So this can be very detrimental to your work schedule and your family life and so on and so forth. So this feeding window does a number of things, like naturally cutting back on your calories. You tend to get very used to this after you make it a pattern for 3 to 7 days. And then your body naturally starts anticipating when you're going to be eating and when you're not going to be eating. So you don't have to worry about being super hungry in your fasted state, because your body realizes that food is coming at some point. It's just put off for a little bit. Fasting also improves your appetite and your blood glucose regulation, your body's ability to mobilize those fat stores, again, just like fasting and exercising. But having a time-restricted eating schedule also improves your sleep and your mood. 2 things that are absolutely vital for maintaining long-term weight loss. If you want to learn more about the benefits of time-restricted eating, make sure you check out Dr. Sachin Panda's Circadian Code. This book has literally changed my perspective on a number of different things in my life. I have completely reprioritized when it comes to my sleep and my eating schedule and my health in general. So I hope you guys find it just as valuable, and I will see you in the next video.